Comedy Central.
Mike Powell leaps, Dick Vitale speaks, Mark Collins deeks, and JoJo Starbuck competes, all on this edition of Sports Monster, featuring the future Hall of Famer and living legend, superstar Joe Bolster. The much-traveled veteran of 22 big league teams in 6 years, Jon Heyman. And the former weatherman with a perpetually sunny disposition, Steve Thomas. Bolster, Heyman, Thomas. Sports Monster.
Welcome to Sports Monster. I am future Hall of Famer Joe Bolster. They are the man they call Mr. Sunshine, Steve Thomas, and the much-traveled catcher, Jon Heyman. John?
Well, everyone knows professional athletes and coaches supplement their income with endorsements and personal appearances. But Chicago Bulls head coach Phil Jackson has taken a unique approach. Jackson, a lifelong admirer of legendary ventriloquist Edgar Bergen, will be touring the country with his nutty buddies, Knucklehead Jordan and Naughty Pippen. It promises to be puppet-larious. Steve?
Thank you, John. Responding to pressure from Native Americans, the Cleveland Indians have decided to change their nickname from Indians to something more dignified, along the lines of Oscar-winning movie Dances with Wolves. Names being discussed are Finishes in Cellar, Always Trades Best Players in Prime, and Why Are We Still Paying Keith Hernandez?
In a related story, the University of Notre Dame has decided to change its name from Fighting Irish to the more appropriate Drunken Irish. And speaking of football, Steve, I understand that you and my colleague here, Jon Heyman, went out to Giant Stadium the other day.
Right you are, Joe, and we found out a little bit about the hidden game of pro football.
Man, I hope this doesn't take long. I got a racquetball game in an hour.
Oh, Johnny, this is going to be fun. We're going to meet a real-life NFL star.
Yeah, who are we talking to anyhow?
Mark Collins, defensive back for the Giants.
Defense? How boring is that? Couldn't we get an offensive player?
John, I'm telling you, this guy shut down Jerry Rice in the NFC Championship game last year. Defensive backs are very skilled ball players.
Give me a break. Any maroon can play defensive back. Why do you think they play zone all the time? I'm telling you, I bet you one-on-one, I could take Collins.
Mark Collins, Steve Thomas,
Steve,
Sports
how you
Monster.
doing? Nice meeting you.
Thanks for coming down.
Who's your friend there?
This is Jon Heyman.
Yeah, I was just leaving.
I heard what you said. John, let's take it to the field. Come on out.
Oh, no, man, I got an old war injury I got up in Canada.
Well, I'll fix it for you. I really can't. Take it out. Come here.
Okay.
Set. Hey. Hey, John, you okay?
Man, that was brutal.
What do you mean? He hardly laid a hand on you.
Yeah? Take a look at the replay. What are you doing? Hey! Hey! What's that? Oh, no. No. Hey, no.
I'll tell you, John, it's amazing the things you can see when they slow the action down.
And I'll tell you something, we didn't even see the handgun. When Sports Monster returns, Dick Vitale.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dick Vitale. I mean, you talk about fun, you talk about sports action, you better stay tuned, and you better be watching, because right after this, we're going to have more of the Sports Monster.
Hi, my friends. It's Tony Cheese, the one, the only, the all-time greatest sports handicapper in the history of history. Hey, it ain't bragging if you can do it, and that's why they call me the Wizard of Odds. And if you rush to your phone right now and call the Wizard Wire at 1-900-555-5555, you too will give thanks that a man such as myself walks the earth. Why? Because this week only on Wizard Wire, it's my very special Welcome to America Thanksgiving Holiday Super Spectacular Bonanza. Yes, sir, for the bargain basement price of only $11.95 a minute, you'll get all my can't-miss super bets in the world of sports. And just so you know I'm the goods, remember, it was Tony Cheese's great-great-grandfather who picked the Pilgrims to upset the Indians in that tremendous battle of yesteryear, even though the Pilgrims were playing on the road. Hey, little Tony, you want turkey or pizza? Huh? Pizza? You want dark cheese or white cheese? White cheese? You're good, kid. What am I, Pocahontas here? Hey, so listen, if you want to go Christmas shop with cards and cons of Chris Cole Cash, call the Wizard Wire at 1-900-ALL-5s, because I own Major League Baseball, Monday Night Football, the NBA, the NHL, and all international sports, including, but not limited to, Portuguese dog fishing, Venezuelan wheel walking, the Puerto Rican Good Humor Man Highlight Championships, Hungarian baby tossing, Czechoslovakian bear tickling, South Tasmanian leopard diving, Brazilian snake packing, the Mideast Regional Romanian Twister Finals, and of course, Polish harness racing. So give me a buzz, place a few bets, and slice off a nice chunk of change. That's the Wizard Wire. 1-900-ALL-5s. Call now because I'm hot, I'm red hot, and I'm sizzling.
Welcome back to Sports Monster. Along with John Heyman, I'm Steve Thomas. On a recent trip to Los Angeles to play the Clippers, the NBA's #1 draft choice, Larry Johnson of the Charlotte Hornets, found time to spend some of his signing bonus in Beverly Hills. Accompanied by basketball fan and movie star Richard Gere, Johnson selected a number of outrageously priced outfits, including this ensemble from Giorgio's and ultra-chic Rodeo Drive. Oh, Pretty Woman. John?
Well, Steve, here we are at the beginning of the NCAA basketball season, and Dick Vitale, the bombastic voice of college hoops, has written a book, Time Out, Baby. And Dick is here in the studio to show our own Joe Bolster the ins and outs of being an announcer. Gentlemen?
Boy, Dick Vitale, good to see you again.
I'll tell you, Joe, great seeing you. I mean, I can't believe it. The last time we seen each other was several years ago. And
I'll
here
tell you
it is
exactly when it was. 1985, NC2A, David knocks off Goliath.
Oh, it was actually the Final Four. That was Willie Massimino
The little
beating
man.
Georgetown. He
Excitement.
pitched a perfect game.
That's right.
That's when he pitched to Don Larson, and he beat Patrick Ewing in Georgetown in Ahoyas. And now look at you, from the baseball to the little white ball, you want to be a TV analyst in basketball.
Here I am.
And you're coming to Dick Vitale's School of Broadcasting to try and help you out. But here's the first step. You ready?
I'm ready.
Step
Tell me
one.
about it. Explain to me.
Step one,
Okay.
you must be able to analyze replays. So I want you right now to mentally take a picture and imagine that we're looking at Michael Jordan. And Michael is going to do his thing, and you're going to tell all the viewers out there what to do and what not to do when you're watching this replay. And then you're going to tell them why Michael is scoring. So right now, let me hear you evaluate Michael Jordan on his replay.
All right, so I look at a replay
and you break
and
it down.
analyze it. Okay, here we
Okay,
go.
you ready to go?
All righty.
Let's try it, Joe, baby.
Here's Jordan on the replay. Michael shoots, and he scores.
Oh, wait a minute, Joe. Wait a minute. You got to be more enthusiastic. You got to have passion. You got to have feeling. You got to have excitement. I mean, Michael Jordan, the game of basketball is full of energy and enthusiasm. Come on, Joe, get
Give it up.
enthusiastic.
One more.
Let's try it again.
One more.
Let's
A little
try it
bigger?
again. A little bigger.
All right.
Okay.
Here's Michael Jordan. He jumps, he shoots, and he scores.
Oh, wait a minute.
How's
Now you got to get some identity. A little bit better.
Yeah.
But now you have to have some personal identity with yourself with some catchphrases. You know, like Phil Rizzuto does with the Yankees. Holy cow. And everybody remembers who you are.
Yeah.
Well, you got to do the same. So I'm going to give you one more shot. Let me hear you one more time. Look at Mr. Jordan.
All right, so personalize it. is what you're saying.
Personalize it. Great word.
My own catchphrase, my own signature.
Exactly,
All
your
right,
own
let me
signature.
think. Let me think. Okay, here we go. Here's Michael Jordan. He jumps, he shoots, he scores. 2 points, swish.
Oh, wait a minute. I like the swish, and I tell you, I gave you a C last time. Now I'm giving you a B. I'm really upgrading your grade. But now I'm going to show you. I want you to listen and watch. I'm going to show you how I would do it if I was doing that one, okay? A little teacher with his pupil. The mentor and the pupil.
My
Ready to
pal
go?
calls Jordan.
Here we go.
Okay.
I'm looking at Michael Jordan.
Here we go.
Wow, I can't believe it, baby. He's a high riser. He's the elevator man. Look at him. He's up in the sky. He's a skywalker. He's a PTPer, baby. He's awesome with a capital A. I love him. Michael Jordan, inch for inch, pound for pound, the best player in the United States of America. That's how you do it.
Ooh-wee.
You like it?
Good stuff, Dick. Let me just try it one more time, see if I've
Try
got
it.
that.
Come on.
All right, so a lot of energy, a lot of signature phrases.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here's Michael Jordan, and he scores. He's a heck of a ball player.
I like that. I'll tell you, Joe, you got a chance.
All right.
You got an outside chance to make it. And I think maybe with the looks you have, if I had your hairstyle, I'd make it in TV. Give this guy an A. Grade A for effort.
Well, I'll keep working at it. Dick, man, thanks for coming by. Johnny, back to you.
You know, Steve, if you look up quick study in the dictionary, I think you'll find a full-color picture of our own Joe Bolster.
I couldn't agree with you more, Johnny.
When Sports Monster returns, JoJo Starbuck ice dances like she's never danced before.
The Sports Grill is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. Welcome to the Sports Grill. I'm Joe Bolster. You know, most kids watch Superman on TV and they hear that line, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. We've got a man here today who can come pretty close to that. In Tokyo last month, he set a new world record in the long jump, 29 feet 4.5 inches. I'm speaking, of course, of Mike Powell. Mike, good to see you here today.
Good to see you too, Joe. Before we get started, I'd like to say it's a pleasure for me to meet you after all these years of following your storied baseball career, and I consider it a pleasure to sit here next to you.
Mike, I think we're going to get along pretty good.
Okay.
29 feet 4.5 inches. Of course, 2 things with that jump. One, you beat a record that stood for 23 years, Bob Beamon, the storied long jump in '68 in Mexico City.
Right.
And you knocked off King Carl's 65-meet undefeated streak.
Right. Yeah, Carl hadn't lost for 10 years, so he had been quite unbeatable for quite a long time. I think I just got kind of sick of him winning all the time, so I figured I'd do something about it. And I was fortunate that I was able to break the world record at the same time.
Alrighty, now let's talk about the length of that leap, 29 feet 4.5 inches. For the guy sitting at home with a beer and a six-pack, just about how far is that? Just give us an idea of how far you left.
Well, if they're sitting there watching a football game, and I were in the backfield during that game, and they gave me the football, and it was first down, I'd get another first down in one leap.
Hike to Mike, 10 yards, first down, move the chains.
Might only be 1 first down per game, could probably hurt myself doing it, but it'd be a first down, though.
On the landing. Well, you know, Mike, I don't mean to belittle 30 feet. I mean, that's quite a leap. But, you know, sometimes I feel like track and field athletes are guys that just couldn't play baseball, couldn't play basketball, couldn't play football, and they're out there, you know, doing a sport that's easy. All you got to do is run. I think a Joe Bolster could go out there and pop a 30-footer, no problem.
Well, I don't know. Baseball players kind of out of shape. I don't know if they can barely make it around the bases. I don't know if you could you know, make it to the board, let alone jump 30 feet.
Mr. Powell, those are fighting words. I'll tell you what. I will tell you what. We will go out in the hallway here, all right? It's about 100 yards long, big, big ramp. I bet that I can jump 30 feet right now.
Okay, I'll bet you that you can't do it, and I'll give you 6 jumps to do it.
I only need 1.
You got 1 then.
All right, Mike, we're all set, man. 29.5 is the red, black's 30 feet.
All right. Yeah, well, you might want to watch out for that exit sign.
Oh, I'll be nodding out my head on the way down.
Okay.
Anything else?
Besides that, you might want to take that watch off also.
No, I'm going to leave it on and see how long I'm up in the air.
Okay.
All right. Did you enjoy your 3 months as a record holder?
I think I'll keep on enjoying it.
Step back, man. Don't get hurt.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Woo! 32 feet. Nice.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, man.
You okay?
I'm fine, man. I jumped 32 feet. You kidding me? I was in the air for like an hour. Feel great.
You know, that's a great jump.
Thanks.
Doesn't count, though.
What are you talking about?
It was a foot foul.
What? What?
It was a foul.
Get out of here. Wasn't a foul?
Hey, let's take a look at the tape.
Oh, man. That
Yep.
was like an eighth of an inch. Give me
There
a
it is
break.
right there. That doesn't make a difference. A foul's a foul.
All right. Well, I'll take another jump then.
You said only 1 jump.
Mike, give me a break. Man, come on. One more.
One jump.
One more.
Yeah.
Mike, come back.
Mike, where are you going, Mike?
Hey, Joey, snap out of it, pal. Wake up, man.
Where's Mike Powell?
What are you talking about? He called and canceled about 10 minutes ago. He's not showing up. Come on, we're in the middle of a show here. Steve?
Officials at a Florida golf course covered local duffer Harold Womack's body with the sheet where he died on the 16th green. The body remained on the green and golfers played through. Golfer Robert Alexander said, "It was a real shock to all of us, but there really was nothing we could do." Fortunately, winter rules applied, and Harold was considered ground under repair. Joe?
Thanks, Steve. And speaking of fanatic golfers, here's golf expert Jerry Weber with a quick tip. Jerry, what do you got for us?
Well, Joe, and by the way, good to see you again. I have a tape of Apollo astronaut Alan Shepard playing golf on the moon. Let's take a look. Okay, there's Alan with his golf cart and his playing partner Moses Malone. Now, as you can see, he's teeing off on the 16th hole, which is an 80-mile par 4,000. So he makes the right club selection with a 6-iron, but then he makes a big mistake. He's got his feet lined up with the 6th ring of Saturn. Wrong. What you want to do is line up your feet with the 4th moon of Jupiter. He forgets to do that, and look what happens. He hits it fat and sends a bad slice off towards Mars, and that's practically out of bounds. So here's a Jerry Weber golf tip. When you're playing golf on the moon, keep track of the planets. Many times the difference between a par and a bogey is whether or not your feet are properly lined up with your anus. Joe, back to you.
All right, Jerry, great report. You know, guys, you always hear about the moon being made out of cheese. You'd hate to go into a sand trap on that golf course, huh?
When Sports Monster returns, ice dancing in the big city with someone special.
Hi, I'm JoJo Starbuck. Stay tuned for more Sports Monster right after this.
Welcome back to Sports Monster. I'm John Heyman. Hockey buffs have to admire the brutal honesty of Tampa Bay GM Phil Esposito. Speaking about his 92-93 NHL expansion club, Esposito stated, "We're going to be crap. We're not going to be a good hockey team, but we're going to be entertaining." Espo backed up his words by announcing that the Tampa Bay franchise would be comprised entirely of the cast of the Las Vegas Review, Nudes on Ice. Joe?
Thanks, Johnny. Good stuff. Now, Steve, I understand that you are going to be bringing us a story that you've been working on for quite some time.
That's right, Joe. It was my privilege to do an in-depth profile of the very lovely and talented champion figure skater, JoJo Starbuck.
4 a.m. JoJo Starbuck awakens. Alice, her mother and trainer, served JoJo a hearty breakfast, the most important meal of the day. After downing 35 flapjacks, 14.7 kilograms of link sausage, and a quart of orange juice, JoJo is ready for her sit-ups.
399, 400, 401. Come on, you only have 500 more to go, 403.
200 kilometers on the Nordic track.
Ski. Ski, JoJo. Ski like the wind.
And the all-important personal grooming.
Rouge. Rouge. More rouge. Bring out that eye. Come on, bring it out. No, the other eye.
Then it's off to the rink. That's where I met JoJo Starbuck. 3-time U.S. champion, Olympic medalist, ice capade star, dancer, athlete, and artist. Grace and strength combined over ice.
JoJo, Steve Thomas.
Hi. How do you do?
was there as a journalist to conduct a simple interview, but something had come over me. I was obsessed. I did everything I could to extend the interview. I needed to find out. Was she feeling the same thing I was feeling?
You know, I have a very high metabolism rate.
Loving you is wrong. But if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Pardon me?
I think her mother sensed something. Soon afterward, I caught up to JoJo during her daily run. She wasn't going to like what I had to say.
JoJo, I've been chosen to call the big figure skating championships. I'm a journalist, JoJo. We have to break this off.
Break what off?
I could tell she was taking it pretty hard, but I had a job to do.
JoJo Starbuck needs to score 9s or better with 5 judges in order to win the big figure skating championships. She's chosen the Wolf for her freestyle program. JoJo begins with a flying camel, a double axel leap into a spread eagle. Here comes the butterfly. Yes! Now a triple toe loop. She did it! A split jump into a triple Salchow. Perfect! She's skating on air. She's skating into the Zamboni. She's run over by the Zamboni. Uh-oh, that's going to cost her valuable points.
And I learned a very valuable lesson that night. A lesson about getting too emotionally involved with my subject. It will be a lesson I'll never forget. For Sports Monster, I'm Steve Thomas.
Steve, man, you okay?
Yes, but I'm happy to report that JoJo just had the wind knocked out of her, but the Zamboni was totaled.
Wow. Finally, is Scene believing? The scene is Belmont Park in New York, where Scorecard Harry, Space Appeal, and Cafe Lex finished in a triple dead heat. Only the 19th time this has happened in North America. Scorecard Harry paid $6, $5.20, and $3. Space Appeal paid $4.40, $8.20, and $5.60, while Cafe Lex rewarded his backers with payoffs of $10, $7.60, and $4.20.
All right, Johnny, thanks very much.
Just a minute. The 610 exacta got you $42.60, and the 10-6 increased your bankroll by a whopping $62.
That's all the time we have. For Joe Bolster and John Heyman, I'm Steve Thomas. Have a great sports weekend.
The 10-6-5 trifecta paid $112.60. The 5-6-10 paid $162.40. The 10-5-6 paid out $244.40. The 6-10-5 paid $300 even. While the 6-5-10 got you $340.60. The 5-10...
On this Sports Monster, the saga of Vic Valducci. In a breaking story, Iowa Tech basketball coach Vic Valducci appears to be on the bubble following recent allegations of recruiting violations used to stranger to criticism, but has been unable to shake nagging rumors involving grade fixing, slush funding, point shaving, drug test altering, the recruiting of the academically unqualified, and connections to the savings and loan debacle that have yet to be explained. Coach Vic Valducci has been suspended, and we are monitoring the unfolding situation at Iowa Tech. Valducci is reportedly refusing to vacate his office. He has also announced, I will have everyone on this campus, everyone in this state, killed. As they must for all men, taxes have come to Vic Valducci. As the feds press their case against Valducci for tax fraud at a level that would, quote, make your head spin, and Doug Tipper Burns, considered by many the most damning witness in the cases against the ex-coach, has disappeared. Valducci said through a spokesman, if, heaven forbid, something terribly painful and wrong and eventually fatal has happened to Burns, it would not only be a personal loss, but a very interesting lesson. An exclusive look at Vic Valducci on this special edition of Sports Monster. Welcome to a Sports Monster special edition. I'm Nick Bakay, along with future Hall of Famer Joe Bolster and the much-traveled catcher, John Heyman. We will be dedicating the bulk of our program to our guest, embattled ex-basketball coach Vic Valducci, making his first public appearance since May 18th. I just want to say thank you for the good times. And in these, I'm sorry, this is hard. Okay. And in these, the bad times, I look to my faith, to the love of a good woman, and a guaranteed sneaker endorsement contract to see me through. Ex-Iowa Tech basketball coach Vic Valducci. Like the proverbial elephant to the blind man, what you make of Valducci depends on which part of his body you squeeze. Hero, villain, yes and no. A few simple facts. Marion Vic Valducci was born in Kew Gardens, Queens in 1943. He never knew his father, who was killed by both sides during the Allied landings in Sicily. But Valducci had a surrogate father, the speckled orange inflated sphere, the basketball. The young Valducci struggled as a guard at Syracuse and St. John's, but it was not until later, as assistant coach at Smelterville Community College and then as head coach at Iowa Tech, that Valducci left his indelible mark on the hardwood floor. Although the favorite sons of Skidmark, Iowa, the Iowa Tech Wildebeests were a three-point basket case when Valducci inherited them in 1978. Over the next 10 years, Valducci led a re-energized pack of Wildebeests to the Final Four 3 times and in 1987 to the NCAA Championship. But miracles have a price tag. An ongoing investigation by the president's office is studying the ugly underside of the Wildebeests. Allegations of recruiting violations, grade fixing, point shaving, unethical sneaker endorsing, slush funding, drug test altering, and the sale of dual-use technology to Libya. Add to this a 0.6 graduation rate among the 10 worst in college sport, and personal health rumors implicating Valducci as patient X in the 1988 Central Iowa chlamydia epidemic.
Makes urinating extremely painful. I burn, I itch, I rash. There's no way in hell I could pee free. I mean, look, I love my kids. I loved every one of them. If I could have peed for them, I would have. I am physically incapable, okay?
And then one terrible night last May, Iowa's Star Center for Tumnus, Washington died from spontaneous human combustion. Valducci was forced out of the Wildebeest program under a cloud. He has been to the mountaintop and been to the valley and skulked through the runoff ditch filled with mud and leaves and broken branches and slugs. But there's one thing that no man has ever called Coach Vic Valducci, and that is quitter. When we return, some hate him, some love him. Now ex-coach Vic Valducci speaks for himself in a Sports Monster exclusive interview. We'll be right back.
This program is brought to you by Cruex.
At an auction, a man named Trudeau felt a terrible itch down below. As the bidding got hot, he scratched his sore spot and was told he just bought a Van Gogh.
Cruex kills jock itch fungus.
Let's take off our sneakers and get comfortable.
Uh-oh, sneaker odor.
Let's go to the movies.
Tame ferocious sneaker odor with Sneaker Tamers from Odor Eaters. Springy insoles with activated charcoal, the world's most powerful odor destroyer. Sneaker Tamers has it. This Scholl's doesn't. Sneaker Tamers absorb sweat, destroy sneaker odor, guaranteed for the life of your sneakers.
No more sneaker odor.
Sneaker Tamers from Odor Eaters.
It's amazing what these kids know.
Well, they don't know everything. Like this sugar-sweetened Kool-Aid's got less sugar than Coke or Pepsi.
Less than Coke or Pepsi?
25% less.
Really?
It's 25% less sugar!
They know everything. Having kids means having Kool-Aid.
When the class bell rings, your child becomes my child, too. So I'm going to do everything I can to help that kid succeed. But I can't do it all. Kids grow up so fast. We just get one chance to give them what they need. So what we give has to be the best. The best help you can give at home has always been Encyclopedia Britannica. It gets kids started on a lasting love of learning, and that makes a big difference in school and in their lives. This booklet will tell you more, and it's free. To get it, just call this toll-free number. Then, when you preview Britannica in your home, you also get this 3-volume desk reference set free. There's no obligation. Look, if we want terrific things to happen for your child, we've got to work together. But right now, all you have to do is make one toll-free call. Oh, there's the bell. Well, I've got a class to teach, and you've got a call to make.
For your free booklet and details on how to receive your 3-volume desk reference set, call toll-free.
You are watching... Check it out! Comedy Central.
A very brave Vic Valducci is joined in the Sports Grill right now by my two colleagues, Joe and John.
Thank you, Nick. Welcome to the Sports Grill. I am Joe Bolster, along with my colleague John Heyman, and we are joined today, as Nick mentioned, by embattled ex-Iowa Tech Wildebeest head coach, and I might add a very good friend of mine, Vic Valducci. Vic, welcome to the Grill.
Joe, good to see you again. John, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Vic.
Appreciate the chance to, give my side of things.
Well, we're happy to give you the forum, Vic, because as you know, allegations are flying, charges have been levied against you. Levied against you, all host of charges. Pick one at random here. This is sort of an odd one. The claim that a student at Iowa Tech, not on the basketball team, but sort of a whiz, mechanically assembled a Scud missile during the war, sold it to Iraq, took the proceeds from the sale, gave the money to you, hoping that that amount of cash would buy him a starting guard spot on the Wildebeest squad. Now, that has got to be a crazy misunderstanding.
You're so right, Joe. And you know what cracks me up is you always hear this story, and people always blow through the amazing aspect of it. First of all, what an incredible kid.
Yeah.
To be able to go to a 7-Eleven, get the basic materials as simple as Scud in the dorm room basement. Also, a kid who loves basketball. Willing to go that far, betray his own nation, just get a starting berth on my team. Touched me a hell of a lot. I thought it was fabulous, though wrong.
Yeah.
And I sat him down and I talked to him, and I said, first of all, look, You're not going to start for me. Number one, because you got the white man's disease. You can't jump. But also, you've done something very wrong. And we got to the bottom of it. We had a good talk. We had a good cry. And, you know, as far as I was concerned, the situation was over. But the media has to pile on, you know? They gotta misunderstand everything.
You never hear that Vic cares about kids. Vic, in his heart, cares about kids. That's what Vic's about, the kids.
It's true.
Am I right?
Yeah. I want you to try and jump up and touch my hand with your head. Can you jump up and do that? Try it right now. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh! See the power, the thrust through that? All right, I'm going to give you the caliper test. Simon says hold your hand out in front of your head. Oh, wow. How old are you?
6.
6 years old. This is very good. Are you familiar with what a letter of intent is? All right. Doesn't matter. All you need to know is, do you like the University of Iowa Tech? Would you like to go to college there for free and play some basketball for them? Wouldn't that be fun? Okay. Take the pen. See the line? Do you know how to write your name? Write your name right there. Can you write your name for me? Go right ahead and do it. Oh, he's a lefty. That's good. He's going to be a power under the paint. Nice.
Well, Vic, did you also point out to that youngster that if he does happen to attend Iowa Tech, that he only has a 0.6 chance of graduating, and that even if he does graduate, there's a very good possibility that he would die? Several of your players, well, they just died, Vic. Let's take a look right now at something a little unfortunate here.
I guess the real tragedy that gets lost in all the accusations that are being hurled at me and my program is that we could have saved Romulus. We could have saved him, but the kid's a Jehovah's Witness, and the fact remains that his religion forbids dowsing. So we're there with buckets of water, ready to douse a kid. He says, I can't. You know, it's like the blood transfusion thing. And yet I'm to blame. You know, it's a funny world. You know, I mean, you know, the word martyr comes to mind, not just Romulus.
We gotta go.
Is the girls there?
Yeah,
right.
She's all ready. She's waiting.
Okay, no, that's great. I gotta run. Hi, Ma. See you. Thanks.
Well, there you go.
Boy, that doesn't get any easier. I've seen it, yet it's always like the first time. I look at that footage, and you know, all I can think of is, these are tragedies, but why am I being blamed for them? You know, a kid bursts into flames, spontaneously combusts. This is my fault? A kid gets a recreational vehicle, maybe from a booster, maybe it's who knows why, puts it on cruise control, goes into the back, makes himself a drink, it goes across a guardrail. This is my fault? You know, these are freakish occurrences. I plead innocence. Come on.
Yeah, just a couple of bad days at Black Rock get blown out of proportion. Again, I say, let's look at the other side of Vic Valducci, the Vic who cares about the kids of tomorrow.
As I stand here before yous, in these hallowed ivied halls of academe, or acadream, as Vic Valducci has always called it, because there's a whole lot of dreams come to fruitfulness today, here, with you and your mortars and pestles and your fruition, with this whole thing you've started 4 years ago. In the case of my kids, 6, 7 years ago. I kid. But it does bring up a serious point, how it breaks my heart that none of my players are in fact graduating with you this year.
A sprinter who hailed from Hoboken explained how the record he'd broken.
I felt something burning down in my groin and my jockstrap was practically smoking. Croex kills jock itch fungus.
At the first tickly itch of athlete's foot, Desonex. Killing those grungy fungi before they get racket and burning. Go get that can now, or else don't blame Desonex.
Skin is not necessary.
Mrs. Elliott's cooking class emphasizes lighter foods, and since today's lesson is chicken that isn't bland or dry, she'll reach for the tangy zip of Miracle Whip.
Zip is your vital ingredient.
Kitchen A mixed in honey and mustard. Kitchen B, Italian dressing.
Miracle Whip salad dressing gives poultry zip.
Grilled, baked, and broiled, one lesson was learned by all.
No kitchen is complete without zip.
To make any chicken taste moist and tender,
reach for the zip of Miracle Whip.
When you can't decide, when you want a choice, go fish. Yeah. Just take a ride, just raise your voice, go fish.
Choose Long John's batter dipped fish, lightly breaded fish, and tender chicken flex. It's all in our great fish and chicken combo, just $2.99.
Yes, Long John Silver's, you're gonna get your wish. Go fish, Long John Silver's. Double your refreshment. Double your enjoyment. Oh, no single gum, double freshens your mouth like double mint gum. Double your refreshment. Double your delightment. Oh, no single gum, double freshens your mouth like double fresh, double good. Come on and double mint gum.
There's no single gum like it.
You and Vic Valducci, let's start with drug testing, with you know, the urine samples and how Vic Valducci reputedly found ways to bend the rules.
Yeah, bend and break. About 3 hours or 4 hours prior to a game, Vic would call me on the phone or knock on the office door or just see me in my hotel room depending on where we were, and he'd say, "Dougie, it's tea time," and that meant I would have to begin drinking large quantities of iced tea. Just keep ingesting just lots of iced tea. And then once we got close to the game in the locker room, it would be my responsibility to urinate for as many of the players as I could.
Welcome back to Sports Monster. I am Joe Bolster in the Sports Grill, along with my colleague John Heyman and our special guest today, ex-coach Vic Valducci. Now, Vic, we've just seen some damning footage from your ex-assistant coach, Doug Tipper Burns, and I'll tell you, I don't know where you got this bag of protons, but it looks to me like he went to school with Benedict Arnold, if you know what I'm saying, huh?
Very funny, Joe. I'll tell you, I've seen this footage before, and I always remember the same thing when I'm looking at it. Doug Tipper Burns is trying to sell books. He has a book, Rim Job, currently #3 on the New York Times bestseller list. This is sensationalism. This moves product. More power to you, Dougie, but the truth does not lie therein.
The truth, indeed, Vic. Let's take a look right now at a piece of film, circa 1990, of your recruiting techniques.
Hey, man, sneaker man. Sneaker man. Sneaker man, let's go.
How you doing? How you doing? All right. Okay. All right. How you doing? How you doing? All right. There you go. There you go. Who's got I got a size 10 here. Who needs size 10? I got a lot of Nikes, guys. Nice and easy. Everybody gets Nikes. Hey, come on. You need some Nikes?
You got the pumps. You want the pumps?
No, I don't have pumps, but I got the Nikes. Oh, who's this? Is this Tony?
Yeah.
Hey, Tony. The whole movie, huh? You keep this under your, just between you and the coach. All right. Okay, everybody's got sneakers. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Sneaker man.
Sneaker man.
All right, you've done your homework. You've done your homework. Okay, I don't know where you got all this footage. Very interesting. First time I've seen it. But looking at it, I'm very proud of what I see here because, I'm going to tell you something. You hear the expression giving back to the community bandied about very emptily a lot. Vic Valducci in this footage is giving things back. Literally, I'm giving stuff to the community. I'm very proud of this. I'm very proud.
That's true. When I used to see you do your motivational speaking,
yes,
you used to say, well, near the end, coaching and giving are the same word. True and funny at the same time.
Yeah, that is very true. Coach Valducci certainly knew a lot about giving. That's going to be quite evident in this next piece we see. Now, what we're about to view is a videotape made by an Iowa Tech film student of an all-night coaches conference from some years back.
Kadeem's SAT total score is even lower than Linus Sampson's. Linus had a 14 for math and verbal, which I believe he didn't even spell his name right. Apparently, Kadeem had problems. He just put an X on it. Doug, I want you to take care of the personal aspect. If you can get the kid laid, that's great. Right. If you can, line up some kind of transportation for him, a recreational vehicle. Pete, I'm going to ask you to work on the whole grade point thing because they're going to be busting us on this one because this kid basically, it's beyond not being able to read and write, There's some question about whether he's actually has a full rack of chromosomes. So, I'm going to need you probably to get in touch with Doc Sweeney and see if you can doctor up some kind of a medical file saying he has full chromosome package, the whole what. And you're going to need to take his SATs for him, or an LSAT, whatever you can do, okay? A GRE. If you can just prove that the kid get a pass, I think, knock wood. Or knock wood. I think we might have something there.
How about that?
I can't believe you roll in this footage, you say it's a student film. What you don't seem to want to mention is the fact this kid is expelled for this film because he poses as a documentary. It was actually a dramatic work, and he brought in master impressionist Mr. Frank Gorshin to do a vocal impersonation. I said not word one of what is contained herein, and yet you're making me take a rep for it. This is not kosher.
A total scam.
Yeah, it's a frame job.
Yeah, it does point out, though, Vic, the stress of high-powered college coaching, and I know that cuts into your family time, and let me say something personally. I've known this man for years. Nothing is more important to him than his family, John Heyman.
Thank you, Joe. I'm glad you brought that up. Family is first. I've often said it.
Yeah, well, maybe by the standards of the Bundy family, but I think you may change your tune, Joe. Why don't you take a look at this tape?
Hello. Hi. No, we're going long. It's the same thing every year. Huh? No, I won't be able to. No, I cannot. Honey, I know, but I will not be able to because this is make or break time, okay? I know I use that line all the time. I'm sorry, but I will not. I'm gonna put you on hold for a second. Let me just run something like that. Doug, how old are you?
33.
Well, you got a good 10 years on me. Listen, I've got my wife on hold. Right. She's coming down on me because of the hours we've been keeping and the chlamydia. And I was just wondering, could you pleasure her?
Tonight?
Yeah.
It's gotta be tonight.
Yeah, because Pete and I can take care of the rest of the board. You'd be helping me out of a bind.
You want me to run over now?
No, listen, I'll get her back on the horn. I'll say, how about an hour? I send Dougie over, give you a good, whatever.
an hour or so. Could you do that?
Yeah.
All right, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. You know that?
Well, if you're taping this show at home, freeze frame that. Vic Valducci, speechless. We'll be back with our final segment after we take another glimpse at the tangled web woven by our guest today, Vic Valducci.
Now, I remind you that there's no right or wrong here, Doug, okay? There's no yes or no, right or wrong. Just be yourself, and I need the truth. Would you be willing to hold your hand over an open flame to prove your allegiance to the wildebeest and this coach, Vic Valducci?
Yeah. Yes.
You would?
Yes.
Would you be willing to suffer a cigarette burn on your cheek, marking your ex Zorro, something of that sort, to prove for the rest of your life that you were a wildebeest?
Yeah. Yes.
Would you be willing to allow the head coach of a major basketball program to snake two fingers up your nose, massage your ganglion, and come out?
Yeah.
All right, that's good. You did well. That is beautiful. I love you for that. You did very well. All right.
This program is brought to you by Desenex.
At the first tickly itch of athlete's foot, Desenex. Killing those grungy fungi before they get racket and burning. Go get that can now, or else don't blame Desenex.
Waffles, Mom? Oh, not for me, dear, no. They're delicious. Yes, but look at all that syrup, dear. A moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips.
Come on, Mom. Live dangerously.
Living dangerously isn't what's kept me the same size as the day I was married.
This syrup's delicious. Really rich and mapley. Oh, and it's light.
Light?
Log Cabin Light syrup, Mom. Half the calories.
Log Cabin Syrup's irresistible maple flavor for more than 100 years.
An earnest young singer named Headley interrupted his usual medley. A fire in my pants. Ooh, it feels like red ants, and it's leaving my crotch looking redly. Croex kills Chuck Itch fungus.
If your idea of savings is to put your money in a bank, wake up to the 1990s and the Dreyfus 100% U.S. Treasury Money Market Fund. The one and only 100% invested in U.S. Treasuries. Treasuries, the safest investment of all. Now, consider income. If you pay state and local taxes on your bank income, you don't with Dreyfus 100% U.S. Treasury. This unique fund delivered income higher, considerably higher than bank money market accounts, even higher in a state with income tax. Call 1-800-544-1574 for today's yield, a prospectus. Checking? Oh, free checking. This is Dreyfus. Save a better way with Uncle Sam and the only Treasury Money Fund free of state and local tax in 49 states. Sorry, Tennessee. Call 1-800-544-1574 and say it's Dreyfus U.S. for us.
Have you heard about the Vic Valducci scandal?
Yes, I have.
And
yes, I have.
Did you have a reaction about it?
I think he's utterly ridiculous.
He reminds you of the politicians in New York.
I hate him.
You hate him. If you could talk to him right now, talking to the camera, what would you tell him?
Clean up your act.
I can't understand why they're bothering this guy.
You think it's media harassment?
I think mostly it is. The papers, they get out of hand all the time. With this Valducci thing, it's just blowing it out of proportion, I think.
I think it's a shame. It's a terrible shame. What would be your advice to Vic Valducci if you could talk to him right now? Never give up, never die. I tell him to run for office.
Don't sweat it. Take it easy.
Do you have a reaction to the Vic Valducci scandal?
I'm from Romania.
Yeah. You're from Romania?
Yes, Bucharest.
I think he's really disgraced the entire university and the college sports programs.
Vic, stay cool. Love you, babe.
Vic, we've been through so much, and our friendship has been so strong for so many years. I'm sorry for what you perceive as my betraying you, but do what you have to. Get some help, heal, make yourself better, find yourself again, Vic. Please.
Welcome back to Sports Monster. I'm Joe Bolster, along with John Heyman and our very special guest today, Coach Vic Valducci. Now, you've just heard John Q. Doe talk about Vic, and some final thoughts from me. Vic, I guess it's no secret that in your heyday, you were known as the Joe Bolster of college coaching. And when you talk about a Joe Bolster and a Vic Valducci, you're talking about two guys who have been to the top of Sports Mountain. And let me tell you, when a Joe Bolster or a Vic Valducci takes that big gondola ride to the top, that's when the critics start coming out of the woolworth. The 250 hitters, the sub-500 coaches, the frustrated Joe six-pack columnists with a word processor, never even played the game. And they started with the nitpicking. Hey, what about the cash for kids? What about the 16-year-old Chippy at halftime? What about the $2 million house on a $50,000 salary? Well, Vic, if it all starts to get you down, you just do what I do. Just think about Jesus. Not a tremendous athlete, but one of the all-time great caterers in history. You can look it up. And look what they did to him.
Mr. Valducci, if you'll excuse my saying so, is fetid reptile vomit. No offense. And it's about time he got his just desserts. Not just for what he did to college basketball. Not just for what he did to the state of Iowa. But for consuming valuable oxygen that should be used by humans. Vic, I want to thank you for being our guest today.
Boy, how tempting it is right now to just ask, why don't you like me? But I have something to say.
Maybe Vic Valducci let you down. Maybe. All right. But it was a Vic Valducci who found kids. Maybe they didn't have the greatest grade per average, but it was Vic Valducci who said, can you play the game of basketball? Maybe we can get you a partial phys ed degree. Vic Valducci, a man who is not a hero. He's human. He's made mistakes. Mistakes that he knows can never be repaired. But if there's anything Vic Valducci can do to undo the hurt, anything, it will be done. I've learned my lesson, and I swear this is the last time you will ever catch Vic Valducci doing anything wrong.
Vic, mea culpa.
Thank you, Joey.
John Heyman, Joe Bolster in the Sports Grill with Coach Valducci. Nick, back to you.
Voting members of the Pulitzer Prize Committee, stay tuned for an address where you can reach Sports Monster. For all of us here, this is Nick Mackay. We'll see you next time. Boy, that was... I'm glad that's over.
You came through nice up there.
You think so?
You know who you remind me of a little bit today? Al North.
Oh, shit.
You know, hero?
Joe, thanks, honey. And you were a big help. And John,
good to see you again.
Gave me the business, but good to meet you.
No, thanks. Oh, come on, John. Don't worry about him.
It's just amazing.
He's one of these gloomy, Gary types.
Gloomy gazelle.
Yeah, glasses,
I know
4/8.
I could tell when I said that he was going to be trouble.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Hey, you come to the stadium tonight? You going to see the ball game?
Oh, sure, I'll see you there.
Yeah, all right. Well, look for you in the box.
Hey,
Joey, say hi, bud.
My old buddy Tony. Oh, Tony
He's
Cheese.
working here a little bit. Said to say hey.
All right, listen, Joe, excuse me. Excuse me, what's your name?
Darryl Jones.
Coach Vic Valducci. Good to meet you.
Coach
Have a seat. I know
Valducci?
you got a job. Have a seat. I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
How tall are you?
6'9".
6'9". I had a feeling. 6'9", 6'9 and a half. Have you attended college?
Yes, I did.
Well, we can fix that. Do you play the game of basketball?
Yeah, I dabble in it.
You dabble in it?
Yeah.
You're a Knick fan?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Knick?
Mark Jackson.
Funny you should say Mark Jackson. I have a quarter interest of a trout fund that I share with Mark. I could introduce you to him.
Really?